Well, it's lot harder coming here after loss than a win. But it's a lot of football left to go in the football season. We, like most people, set up our season, by the quarters. We have a chance to finish up 2-1 in the first quarter, and we have to get back to that. We didn't play well enough this past Saturday to win. Simple as that. We had a perfect stage to take a step, maybe a little bit quicker than we were ready to take. But we will learn from this video. We already have on things we have to improve. When we get back in this situation, to be able to handle it, a lot better. We get that opportunity right away. Western Michigan is a good football team, good undefeated football team that has beaten a Big Ten opponent, that put a lot of points on the board last week. And again, looking at our schedule before the season started, you knew that this would be one of those games for us to truly measure exactly how far we've come, and that will be the case. We did have a couple of injuries from the game. The guys are getting better. Just as a general rule, I won't be talking about injuries early in the week. All of our players are getting better. It's kind of as simple as that. Some of our players that, our best players have to play that way each game we play. Some of our role players have to take on their roles a little bit better. But again, as I said, we'll move on from that game. We learned an awful lot. Take your question.
Lovie, Western Michigan, obviously, what did you see against Northwestern where they were successful against a Big Ten opponent?
Well, I think they have offensively, they have a system that they believe in, and I saw them running that system. Part of their system, of course, there's option involved. They have excellent running backs. They have great skill at the wide receiver position. They have a great wide receiver, we think. In order to do that, though, you have to have an offensive line. I think they have a special offensive one. One of their tackles is pretty good. Both of their tackles are pretty good. So I think they're just, talking offensively. They have a quarterback that's played a lot of ball. So you just go position to position. They have a good football player there. And when you have all that, you can end up having 70 points on the board any given Saturday. So it'll be a big challenge, for our defense. We played a good offense this past week and didn't perform as well as we need to, as well as we're capable of performing. So it's good to get another shot at it against a good offense.
I know you don't look at the Vegas lines, but they favor Western Michigan. Will you use that with your team at all?
We don't need a lot of motivation. We lost this past week, and that's the motivation enough for us to play a better game. I don't see the University of Illinois being underdogs to many people here at home, though.
Obviously you're used to the last several years coaching NFL players who, as a professional setting, they play more games. Do you have to employ a bit of a different psychology, or have you considered that just coming off a loss and maybe how college-age guys might deal with that differently? Have you considered that, or have you?
No, I don't think there is a difference. I think when you're there at the moment, a loss is a loss. NFL losses feel a certain way for NFL players when you're all there. College losses feel the same way. Believe me, I have experience losing at all different levels, and they feel the same. Our guys were disappointed, more disappointed after we watched the video. I don't think it matters what level you're on for that, and to see some things that you need to correct. And I think after loss, you can't wait to get back on the practice field. Watch the video, get back on the practice field, and then play another game. And that's where we are this week. Same setting, same environment, at home, so we get a chance, to do it again, and that's what we're looking for.
Coach, on the video, what did you see when miscues were happening? Did you see maybe a lack of execution from what you had seen in practice, or did you see areas that were exposed that need to get improved?
I think whenever you have, play that's not acceptable, it's a lack of execution, yes. Simple as that. And you practice, but that's practice. You get to a game, you never know what's going to happen in that game until you get to that game. And you handle situations differently sometimes. And there's a lot of reasons why, but at that moment, you don't know that it's going to happen. So it's really as simple as that. Some of the things we saw in the game we haven't seen in practice. Hadn't been in that situation before. But now that we have been, we can make those corrections, and it's just about, you setting bars as you go throughout. I made this mistake, I don't want to make it again. It's as simple as that. So that's how we're looking at it. It's not like we're going to scrap what we're doing or get rid of our players or our coaches, anything like that. We're going to all show back up and do a better job this time at everything.
How well you do know PJ Fleck?
I'm sorry?
Their coach, PJ Fleck, do you know him at all?
I know who he is. I do not know him. Can't think of how many people I know on their staff, but again, being my first year here, I don't know a lot of the guys that we're going to play. For the first time, I just know what program he's leading as much as anything. He's doing a good job. And whenever you get your team, to 2-0, you have to be pretty impressed with that.
Lovie, how do you go about fixing penalties like you've had? How do you go about that?
It's like anything else. Some you have wrong. First you identify it, show them the reasons why you can't. And most of the time, those guys see why they can't afterwards. Very few guys don't feel bad about it. A mistake they've made costing, the team, through a penalty. Penalty that there are some, holding everyone, offensive lineman, you may hold or hit a guy in the back, inadvertently grab the face mask from time to time. But some of the ones after play, and most of us know the ones that have to be avoided. And the ones that we're not going to put up with, as simple as that really hurts your ball club. And we had too many of those this past week.
How has Carroll Phillips improved?
How has he improved from?
Time you got here to now.
And that's why I say from. I only know him a certain way, and I've liked Carroll Phillips since he's been here. He's a guy that can rush. He's a legitimate outside pass rusher. He can create havoc, on the outside. So that's what I've known from him. Carroll would still say he would like to have a couple of plays back, like all of us would from that last game. Just being able to maintain that type of play throughout is what we're looking for right now. I think everybody we put out there on the field has had moments of something that we really like, but being able to do that consistently. And against North Carolina, it's a one-score game in the fourth quarter. We have to be able to finish the football game as much as anything. We've made strides. We started fast. It's about starting fast, finishing strong. We as a football team need to learn how to finish strong.
Just 2 games in, you've had some offensive line injuries. Just how much of a concern is that, given the chemistry you want to set there? And
You're right. You would like to set chemistry and keep one group together, but I've just never seen it where it happens that way. But when an injury occurs, you hope you have a backup plan. Last week, Joe Spencer missing the first game. Megason really, thank you, all right? That Nick guy, Already. Nick moved in and did a super job at the center position. It forced us to look at a couple of different combinations. We would play 2 other young players, and that's all you can really do. We don't have a lot of guys with a lot of experience, but when you have an injury, you do have a plan that you feel pretty good about, and that's where we are right now.
Given that, how would you assess how they've done in these 2 games?
I think they've done okay. You look at our ball club right now. We're 1-1, right? That's saying that, you haven't done things perfectly, but you've done some things well. That's where we are. Anxious to see, how we take this next step, though.
You're involved a lot with the secondary, and it looked like there were receivers getting open. Was this a failure of man-to-man coverage or a failure of coordination in the secondary?
I think it's a little bit more complex than just that. It's a combination of both. I mean, we played man, we played zone. When you say receivers getting open, yeah, some, but that's life. Receivers are going to get open. When they get open, you just want to keep it in front of us and have a chance to tackle them from time to time. We didn't do that at times. The ones where they got behind us, one of the touchdowns was when they got behind us. Of course, that's not a good thing. A screen pass on 3rd and 15. It's not about being open on some of those. It's about us being able to tackle and some of those things. That's what I was disappointed in as much as anything. We put a big emphasis, like everyone, on getting off the field on 3rd down. And if you have an opportunity to be in 3rd and long situations, you have to convert. I was most disappointed in some of the 3rd and long situations from this past game.
Did you sense a trend among breakdowns there in those situations?
No, not a trend. Trend for that game, different. We had different. It's not like it was one coverage that we had, or it was just one person. We all had our moments. When you lose football games, that's what happens. I'm going to go back to that wasn't happening throughout. Just being able to maintain a certain type of play throughout as much as anything. That'll come. Things, don't happen overnight always.
Offensively, it's 6 fumbles. You've only lost 1, but how concerning is that to see the ball on the ground that much?
It's concerning. Been more concerning if we had lost 6, but to lose 1, got to protect the ball. It's as simple as that. There's no way around it. It's not a good thing for you to have the ball on the ground. It's not a good thing for you to turn the football over. It's not a good thing for you not to take the ball away. So all of that goes together.
Westline was fairly critical of himself after the game. How do you think he'll bounce back this week for this game?
I think he'll bounce back. I was critical of my play still, of my job that I did this past week. Everybody to a man should have been not happy, disappointed in their play. Wes is a part of that. We're all working to correct it. We get another shot to make it right, and you find out a lot about you and what you really have inside of you to come back from adversity. That's not a bad thing.
After 2 weeks, is there anything that you've seen that you're
I'm sorry, one more time?
After the first 2 games, is there
Yes.
anything you've seen you're kind of surprised, maybe thinking, okay, we should be able to do this by now?
No, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I'm going to go back. What I was most disappointed in is how we finished the game. 4th quarter of our last game. There's some good moments we had offensively. We started off strong. Defensively, the big stop on 3rd down right before the half. But just how we finish. We've practiced too hard to finish a football game that way. So we need to clean those things up, just trying to play, 60 good minutes of ball at least.
From the beginning, you've talked about the team you want a disciplined team. Are you disappointed with the level of discipline?
No, I'm disappointed in the way we finished the game the other day. You turn on the TV last night, there are mistakes that's being made. That's just the nature of the beast. It takes a while to get this right, especially when you're playing against a good football team. It just didn't happen. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. It takes a while, so I'm not disappointed. I'm disappointed in how we finished only. I'm excited to go back to the practice field this week under these. It's the first time we've had a chance to go back on the football field after a loss. We're going to improve a lot this week.
How did you enjoy, or did you have a moment to enjoy the atmosphere and energy?
A whole lot of enjoyment from that, but yes, before we definitely acknowledge everything that happened here, not just before the game, during the game, right up until our fans were great. We saw it pre-game, everything. That just kind of shows you what it would be like here, in the coming weeks, years, hopefully. A lot of potential for us to do some great things around here. I'm talking our fan base, along with the product that will continue to get better on the field.
else here in the room?
We will see you a little bit later on. Take care.
Coach here, let's see. Dave, are you on the line?
Yeah, I am, Ken.
Do you have any questions for Coach?
Just maybe a couple of quick ones. You talked a good bit about, learning from a loss and all of that. To what extent do you feel like it's necessary to have, a pretty disappointing loss when you've got a new team to sort of figure things out? Or, are there things you can only learn from that?
Well, in an ideal world, we have to, we like to learn off of all wins for sure, but I do think you can learn things from, again, every situation you put your football team in, I think it's a learning experience, and there's just no way to really get some points across when you blow somebody out. Simple as that. So from this game, there were so many things that, and for players to see, for us to see how important every play is. And you can only get that through having a tough loss like this. We had, as I talked to the football team after the game, we should have a bad, terrible feeling deep down inside until we play the next game. And I think that's a good thing. That will motivate us this week.
And talking about not finishing and winning, particularly the fourth quarter, do you chalk any of that up to lack of depth? Was there any sense that some of your guys were running out of steam compared to what North Carolina can do?
Well, we definitely didn't finish as strong as I would like. Whether that's, the depth, I would like to say yeah, but I can't say that. It's not like we were doing a lot of cramping up and things like that. No, we just didn't handle that situation as well as we need to. We'll handle it better this week. I can't necessarily say that it was that.